Hi, and welcome to an extremely special 100th episode of AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris, and joining me today is the wonderful Sandy Carter. Sandy is COO at Unstoppable Domains and also a Forbes contributor. And we're going to be talking about the future org chart of AI-empowered organizations. Hi, Sandy, and welcome to a special AI in 5, my 100th guest. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Simon. I'm excited to be the 100th guest too. That's amazing.
Absolutely. That can only happen once. Let's dive right in because we've only got 5 minutes. In your book that we can see there on screen, The AI First, Human Always, one of the things that really grabbed me was you talking about a change to the org structure because of AI as a new way of looking about it. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So AI First, Human always talks about the human element. And so if you look at the org chart of the future, I see the interaction between people and AI, not as a tool, but as an employee, as a teammate helping you out. And what that really does is it really changes the questions that you ask yourself as an employee from how can I help? How can I get AI now to help me, move faster in my current job, to how do I now have AI handle routine tasks and I take on a bigger role? So as I work with companies, one of the roles we've been re-architecting a lot right now is marketing. So if you're a chief growth officer today, you probably manage campaign execution, but in the future, your role will be to orchestrate human and AI campaign ecosystems. Or maybe today you analyze campaign data manually. In the future, your role may look like training AI to provide real-time insights, which means I think everybody today should start looking at their role to what it could be and not just automation with AI, but how do I bring AI in as a teammate? And in fact, Simon, one of the challenges I gave my team is I want everyone on my team today to have at least one AI agent that's working for them by end of the year.
Wow. And are people feeling threatened by that? There's a lot of, AI's coming for my job. Are you seeing that, or are you seeing job roles changing, or are you just seeing organizational charts essentially getting bigger because now we have all these named AI agents like peers?
So I'm seeing two different really dichotomies happen. One where a company isn't really explaining it, isn't really training people on AI. People are fearful and they're
Yeah.
rejecting it because they don't want AI to take their job. Versus companies like I've been working with, where they're like, okay, this is coming. Let's get ready. Let's get everybody in the company trained. And then let's see how AI can make your job more interesting. So, who wants to count campaign leads? Who wants to, get data? I mean, the real cool stuff is the insight and how you're going to make changes and writing your new playbook. How can we get you to that point? And I think those companies they're going to be the ones that just go head above everybody else because they've got their employees with them and they're training it. Bank of America is one of those that comes to mind. There are actually a few companies down in your part of the woods too. TFAS is doing something similar. Safety Culture is doing something similar. So I think those companies who really embrace it and are proactive, that's what I'm seeing is a lot of companies coming to me looking for that help. How do I get everybody ready?
Yeah, I love your thing that, fear only exists in a vacuum. As soon as you start training people, then they're not as fearful. Are you finding that most people have that, what I call learning quotient, that ability to learn new and come up with ideas for, you challenged everybody to have an agent. Are you finding that most people can pretty rapidly identify what that agent should be?
I am so excited. Now, I do believe I have the world's greatest team, but, people are coming up. I gave them a budget. So I didn't just say, you go do it by yourself. Pay.
Yeah.
So I gave them a monthly budget so they can use different AI tools. I am pretty amazed at what they're coming up with. So like my community team has an AI agent. It now exists on our main site. It's answering about 32% of our support questions. I mean,
Okay.
they've just blown it away. So I'm seeing everybody do things a little differently, but everybody's pretty excited about the potential of having someone work for them, even though it is an AI teammate. So far, everybody's really embraced it.
So, like, we're almost at 5 minutes, but I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
Are you also finding people kind of, there's a spirit of competition? You know, look what my AI agent can do. Can yours do that? You know, when you're in team meetings and things?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the best things is sharing your ideas and seeing what you're doing. So even one of the companies I'm working with, where we've kind of got these little agents going on, we decided to name them to make them more like teammates. And we decided on a Star Wars team. So we've got like this Darth agent that leads, campaign optimization. And then we've got R2D2 who's doing some competitive analysis. And people who we're sharing best practices and lessons learned, and my agent can do this, and can your agent do that? And even a switch, I will say, Simon, when you name the agent, there comes a shift in the organization where it's not just a tool, it's a teammate. And I think that's the big shift everybody needs to make.
Yeah, awesome. Look, this could be a 3-hour AI in 5, but it is 5. I want to ask you the same question I ask everybody on this show, which is, for an organization just starting their AI journey, what's your best piece of advice? What should they be doing or thinking about?
So I made up this term called Playstorm. And Playstorm is different than Brainstorm. You know, in the past tech evolution, you could actually listen to your podcast, get a grasp of it, talk about it, and you'd be good. It's not the same in AI. You need to get your hands dirty. You need to play with it. So if you're just starting out as the leader, you try it out. Go out there and say, my goal is 100 tools. I'm going to do a tool a day for 100 days. I'm going to learn it myself. So then I can get everybody else excited about it. That would be my number one piece of advice from CEO all the way down.
Great advice, Sandy. Great advice. Thank you for being a part of AI in 5.
And 100th episode.
And the 100th.